You said April of this year was a record-breaking year for the company, and that activity is way up. What kind of trends are you seeing?
One of my favorite stats about April is that we had about 205 million monthly views across our digital esports viewing channels. In the entire year of 2019, we had 120 million. So that kind of explosive surge, it's a dire time, and yet it's a real silver lining for our company because we're getting really to a point of real critical mass in our platform. We've also seen an increase of registered users on our platform, up 65% since December.
Now, I spoke to the CEO of Zynga yesterday, and they also had a record-breaking quarter. But I'm curious, when life returns to normal, if life returns to normal, what does that mean? Does business dip, and do the trends, regress essentially?
Yeah, I think it's a really fair question. I get asked that a lot by our investors as well. The first thing I would start with is the fact that gaming pre-COVID was already bigger than TV. It was 3 times the size of the global film box office. So it already had become the dominating form of entertainment for Gen Z and millennials. And so in some ways that trend had already established itself and was very rooted. I'm sure we're all going to jump on our bikes or run out of the house, right? Just anything to kind of solve for cabin fever. That said, because gaming is a dominant form now of entertainment pre-COVID, we really don't see any real changes in the type of engagement we're gaining in our platform. The nice thing is as I mentioned earlier, we're getting to this interesting place of critical mass where we're building pretty extensive community and rich content for viewing on our platform. And as players engage more, the platform becomes more sticky. So we think that this is a real opportunity for Super League to kind of break out of the pack and really be a permanent fixture in these gamers' lives.
Now, live offline sports aren't happening right now. And there's another question. Once we start playing football and basketball and baseball again, does that also impact your business?
Well, again, all those things existed pre-COVID, and gaming was still bigger than any, professional and recreational sports league out there. When you think about the fact that there's 2.6 billion gamers on the planet, what I'm excited about with Super League is we've always been about the mainstreaming of esports. We've always been about recreational esports for all. These games are now being designed to naturally have competitive structures in them, teams and leagues. And so while there's about 10,000 or so professional esports athletes around the world, we felt like the everyday gamer would want their chance to join a team and have that kind of amped up competitive challenge. And then the other neat thing that's happening is Super League has a very unique kind of secret sauce. We don't just run tournaments. We have a fully remote virtual broadcast capability. And what that means is that we can also create really compelling content for viewership off of these tournaments. That technology is now giving us an opportunity when live sports are on hold to actually start providing fresh live stream content to media outlets that are thirsting for that content. And what I am more excited about than anything is the way that we can produce esports competitions, but do it as an extension of a traditional sport. So what I mean is, Madden tournaments. So the everyday NFL fan can watch a virtual football game, or World Golf Tour owned by Topgolf. It's a video game for golfers, but how fun that it can really be a real legitimate replacement if the US Open and Masters are on hold.
So you said you're looking for new revenue opportunities in existing live, fully remote production capabilities. Is that what you're alluding to here?
Well, right now we have already been doing some things for professional esports teams. We're giving them a way to engage with their fan base. So we've done an exciting production deal with Gen G. And we are in talks with a lot of traditional sports teams and leagues who are asking the question, how do I stay connected to my fans during this time? The other neat thing about the production capability we have is we can actually bring the audience into the experience. So instead of cutting away to a baseball game but not seeing anyone in the stadium, we actually have technology where we can have thousands of people simultaneously joining an experience virtually. We can even get into doing game shows. The The applications are endless. It's kind of a fun little moment for us as an early stage company. You know, sometimes you build a piece of technology for one use, and then all of a sudden an opportunity arises for it to really have a much broader application. Early on, we designed this technology because we wanted to make the big screen in the movie theater come to life and be immersive and interesting to family and friends who were there watching their gamers game. And that little piece of technology and the patents that we filed around it is now becoming a real solution for not just sports leagues, but wider entertainment and media content.
Now, in January, you announced a deal with China's Wanda Theaters to host live Super League esports events and tournaments there. Are people even going to the movies in China? And if not, what does that mean for that deal?
Yeah, it's a good question. We aren't really running any live events there yet. We announced the beginnings of the deal, so there was still a lot of market testing to do to really understand what was the right offer for that massive gaming market. That said, you know, we are pre-COVID had about an 80-20 split between digital gameplay and live event gameplay. Our live event gameplay has always been kind of the icing on our cake. It's a bit of our crescendo and our March Madness. And we definitely love in real life gaming. The good news for us is that our in real life gaming was still always hyper local. You know, it was more like creating the cul-de-sac or the local quad for esports. You didn't have to get on a plane. You didn't have to go into a big stadium. We were able to pivot really fast when we in early March saw COVID coming on, and we were able to take the handful of live event gameplay events that we had scheduled. Most of those were with our partnership with Tencent here in North America around a game called PUBG Mobile. We were going to do that in partnership with Dave & Buster's. We were able to redirect those to online. Actually got much higher participation because we didn't have the physical constraints anymore of the retail venue. And the other nice thing about that was that you know, we were able to give the same great experience, but allow everyone to do it from the comfort of their home.
You also announced an expansion of gaming clubs, which is sort of the foundation of a lot of what you're working on. And that was an opportunity to play online together or in person together. Now that we can't play in person together, how does that impact the community?
Yeah, it's funny because that hyper local building block still remains such an important tenet to us. We always kind of joked and said we feel like we're a bit of a local match.com for gamers. You know, gaming is beautiful and global, but it's highly distributed and fragmented. And so in some ways, those city clubs become even more important in a world where everyone is sheltering in place. If you think about it, if you play in New York in the club, you play for the New York Fury, or if you play in Boston, you play for the Boston Revolt. And even when you're at home, that desire to represent your hometown, root for your hometown, make friendships that are local to you still endures. And so as a foundation of our technology, we can create tournaments that are geo-based, even if the player is all sitting at home.
Gaming has been such a historically male business, and expanding esports seems to be an opportunity to expand the audience to include women and folks who've been excluded from this industry for so long. How are you trying to do that?
Yeah, that was something that was really important at the very beginning of Super League. What we saw at the time was that there was a big myth anymore about who a gamer is. That gaming is a widely diverse population. It's no longer just a kind of isolated, introverted male. Gaming isn't something you grow out of anymore these days. It's multi-generational. 50% of power gamers are married, 30% are female. And it was really all of those trends that told us that we had an opportunity to build a brand that really stood for inclusive gaming. You know, why do young girls stop gaming? And sometimes it's because when anything can be done online only with anonymity, bad behaviors kick in, just like with social media. And so what esports does is it really creates an opportunity to wrap good sportsmanship, a code of conduct. And we have a pretty high tier on that at Super League. Early on, we really staked our claim, both offering young adult leagues, but also youth leagues. And it was important to us that we could be trusted by parents and families to really create a positive playing environment. We index high on female gamers. We also index high on LGBTQ. Everybody's a gamer these days, and Super League is really a home for the better way to game.